Happy birthday, Mimi. We wanted to celebrate your 79th birthday by going back to the beginning. With so much to choose from throughout your rich and full life, we narrowed this walk down memory lane to early school-aged years and reached out to those who knew you when. Your closest family have shared some stories and memories about you that are both funny and sentimental, but always filled with love. One reason we decided on this time of your life is because, as the matriarch of our family, we want to learn all we can about you and your family history. We hope this will spark conversations and refresh your earliest memories that helped shape you into an amazing and strong woman you've become. One thing is certain, whether you were known as Mimi, mom, Beth, sister, daughter, partner, or friend, you've touched the lives of all of us for the better. We want to thank you for all the love you gave and sacrifices you made putting others before yourself. Let's start with the basics. Mary Elizabeth Dacey was born on Sunday, March 10th, 1940 at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Boston. Her parents, John, known as Pop or Papa in this video, and Elizabeth, who went by Libby, were so excited to welcome their firstborn into the world and take her home to Rhode Island. World War II had begun months before, and Pop would soon be called to duty along with Beth's uncles. Many changes and moves lay ahead. We hope you enjoyed this look back and can't wait to fill in some of the blanks and hear your stories after the video. Made with love.
As many of my therapists know only too well, there was an incident that took place in second grade. Here we are at 545 Bedford Street in Lexington. It was a lovely fall day in 1954. My sister Beth and I are waiting for the school bus to take us to school. In actuality, it wasn't a school bus, it was a city bus driven by our regular bus driver, Pat Kiaka, who is a good friend. Beth and I are waiting with both Mom and Pop for unusual reasons, I think having to do with a lot of drama in the house that my sister was causing. The school bus pulls up, I get on, and suddenly Beth bolts to the backyard, chased by Papa. My mother says to Pat Kiaka, "Go ahead without them." And before I knew anything else had happened, it was a total blur, and I'm enrolled in second grade in Lexington schools, tragically separated from my fiancée, never to see her again. Beth is enrolled at Lexington High School, couldn't be happier, making friends, hanging out with the cool kids, all at the expense of her little baby brother.
Hi, Mom. So your cousin Bobby wasn't able to send a video, but he sent along some stories and thoughts that he wanted me to share. So I'm just going to kind of read from the email that he sent because I want to make sure I express exactly what he wanted to say. So he wanted to share a memory that is of you standing next to our grandmother, Gunda, as she played the piano at Christmas with the whole family gathered around, like singing carols. He said you were probably 8 or 10 years old. And that really the Mullins were the family that always drew everyone together, and the Mullins and the Daceys were such a big part of his life growing up and all of his memories. And he also said how Libby, my grandmother, your mother, was his godmother, which I didn't know. And he said, although you aren't supposed to have a favorite among aunts or people in your family, that Libby was definitely his favorite. And he remembers it like yesterday, and was very affected by the fact that her life was cut short by cancer, and said he just can't imagine how you, John, and Brian even rallied through and got by. He said as he reflects back on the family, it's amazing how close you guys have all remained, and he thinks that's really great. And he wanted to say, as we're celebrating your magical 79th birthday, that please tell your mother how much I love her, how I have cherished her helping me through the difficult times, how happy I am that she found Bob.
My God.
And then I think she has a wicked sense of humor, and I think that she never wavers in her loyalty, and she really had stepped up and helped with the family, so he just wanted to send his love.
Go.
Okay. Hi, Lizzie. Happy birthday to Beth. Thank you for extending the invitation to Elaine and me about the party. I think it's a great idea that you have. Everybody should know she's the oldest in the family. You can tell from that picture we sent you of the two of us. She's got the blonde hair and I've got the dark hair. And she was always wanting to be older than me, and that makes her older. So that makes she's a little bit older, and I think Bobby, Glenn, and Tom, we all know that she's older and have to appreciate her. We have to appreciate her. Esther was your brother. She was the oldest of the lot, and you're the smallest. So I'm really glad that we're going to have a party, and we can sing, and we can celebrate her. Thank you, Brenda.
Your cousin Priscilla, who you often called Prill, wanted to wish you a happy birthday and send her love. She sent along a photo of you guys when you were younger that you will see later in the video.
Hi everybody, this is a play in 2 acts. I will have the lead in Act 1, and Beth herself can have the lead in Act 2 if she chooses. Act 1. So one summer in the 1950s, the McGowans rented a summer house at Lake Chicarawa in New Hampshire. The Glyns were invited to visit for a weekend. I believe Beth had gone up earlier, but was returning in the car with the Glyns. The seating arrangement was my father, driver, my sister, back seat behind driver, my mother, back seat between me and my sister, me, back seat behind the shotgun seat, Beth, shotgun seat. P.S. I often got car sick in those days. Act 2. Take it away, Beth, for the rest of the story.
Hey Beth, on the occasion of your birthday, I have some reminiscing to do. So I've got my iPhone in front of me with some notes, so let me kind of run through this. So I don't have many memories in Lexington, but one I do remember is your 16th birthday, when there was quite a party in the basement and the garage, which probably sounds worse than it really is. You can explain that to the kids. It was really nice. Place was all decorated. Everybody was really excited. And I remember that really pretty vividly, and all the preparation and how it looked. But there was some incident, which maybe you can explain to the kids, that I do remember caused a bit of a furor. So I won't go into those details because I don't know them, but I do remember that well. What I remember is much more living in Arlington. And a few of the things I remembered, there was the famous Thunderbird incident with John, when you had the brand new car, the black Thunderbird, which was your pride and joy, and you had given it to John. And I think he'd gone to Buttrick's, had got ice cream and had a frap in the front seat, which fell over, and he went to grab it and ended up hitting another car. I do remember how mad you were when that happened. And I still can picture the chocolate stain on the fabric of the car. But I do remember how special that car was to you. Another thing I remember is how you and John used to have me, well, we'd all hunt for coins in the sofa and in the furniture to see if we can get enough coins together to go to Brigham's. And we'd find pennies and dimes and whatever. And we'd put them all together, and because they were all coins, you'd send me in to make the order and deliver the coins. So I remember that pretty vividly as well. Another thing I remember is, I think it was you and John, and for some reason I think it might have been the Glyns or somebody else at our house on Bartlett Ave, when you guys would call taxis to the Bluins house, our neighbors across the street. And of course, they would not have ordered a cab, and the cab would come and go to the front door and ring the bell, and they wouldn't know what was going on. And we'd all be watching from across the street. But you guys had me call and do the, and order the cab, which was kind of a recurring pattern, so that I can remember John always wanted to play 52 pickup with me, and I'd always fall for it, and he'd shoot the 52 playing cards all over the floor for me to pick up. So being 12 and 5 years younger than the two of you always had some disadvantage. It had advantages too. What I also remember is pretty vividly was Framingham State, when you were there and going up. And in particular, we'd go up and see you in concerts. And I remember those quite well. And I'd usually be going up with Dad. And maybe John didn't go, or I don't remember him as much. Two things I remember about Framingham State. One was the time you had a concert, and I went in and used the restroom, which of course it was an all-girls school, it was a ladies' room, and I saw this machine that had sanitary napkins, and I thought, oh, that's a great idea to kind of, in case you spill something. And I remember buying one and carrying it down to the seat, and I sat next to Dad, and I leaned over and I said, hey, look what I got. And I said, what's the pin for? And I remember Dad like turning bright red and almost couldn't contain himself with the laughter, saying, put that away, put that away. What I also remember, and maybe you can describe this to the kids, was me doing the Christopher Robin thing at Framingham State. It was some kind of a play or a musical or something. I remember doing it, but I don't remember the details, and maybe you can describe that. And there were certainly many other things. I mean, there was, Fantasia was the big night out. If there was something to do, that was like the only restaurant around. It's so different than today when there are thousands of restaurants. And back then there were like 3 or 4 that you'd go to. And I can remember us going there on special occasions. And there were certainly many more events. But most importantly, thanks for sharing the parental burden, which you were way too young to have had to absorb at that point in your life. And you often refer to us as the Three Musketeers. Well, if we were the Three Musketeers, you were D'Artagnan. All right, happy birthday, love, see ya.
I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? And can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, children get older, I'm getting older too. So I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, children get older, I'm getting older too. Oh yes, I'm getting older too. So could you take this love, take it down? Oh, if you climb a mountain and you turn around, if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, where the landslide will bring it down, down.
Happy birthday, Beth.
We love you.
Hi, Mimi. Happy 79th
79th
birthday.
birthday.
Yay! Yay.
Happy 79th birthday, Mimi. We love you.
Happy 79th birthday, Mimi. I love you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'll see you when I see you.